Hey everybody, Tom Bullington again with InMotion Realty. Today I wanted to speak with you just briefly about inspections and why they're important. It's an important part of when you're purchasing a home to make sure that your home is in tip-top shape, or at least that you know what the issues are before you actually purchase it. So we're going to go through the kind of the reasons why you need an inspection, and one of the biggest reasons is the roof. Now, the roof is one of those, it would be a large expense if you found out that there's leaks in the roof, or if there is some sort of damage, or if it's just aged beyond its age allowance. So you want to make sure if it's in the winter, it's a little bit more challenging to get a roof inspection because there's snow oftentimes on top of the roof. But inspectors, if they know what they're doing, can get up there and can remove some of the snow and be able to give a good impression of what the roof condition is. Obviously, optimally, you want to make sure that there's no snow on the roof, but sometimes it's just tough to do that. Another thing that would be a significant expense is a foundation. Foundation, if it's cracked, you can especially tell this in older homes. Sometimes even the actual home itself will kind of be slanting a little bit. Typically, if you're built before 1900 or so, before 1920, those you're actually looking at, you wouldn't want to play marbles in this house, because the back half of the house typically is just leaning a little bit. So in some extreme cases, you want to make sure that the foundation gets jacked up a little bit and that there's some sort of stability there. Oftentimes it can be fixed, it can be remediated, but you don't want to walk into a house that has a crumbling foundation. That could cause all sorts of issues to the stability of the home. So make sure that the foundation is in good shape. And if it's not, the expense that would go into fixing the foundation. Same with the roof too. It's okay if you know what you're getting into, if you know that the roof needs to be replaced within a year or two, or if there's leaks, those things need to be fixed. That way you can negotiate with the sellers and say, okay, well, I'm going to buy the house, but I'm going to take $5,000 or $10,000 off the price because the roof is damaged or there's a foundation issue, things like that. One of the big telltale signs you can look for in a foundation issue is if there's a crack in the garage. Look at the cement slab in the garage. If it's cracked in a number of places, or if the cinder block walls on the sides of the garage are cracked, you might have a foundation issue. So that's another reason why you have a qualified inspector come out to the home you're thinking about. Plumbing is another big issue. If left untreated, water problems, water can get in wherever it wants to. If there's an issue with water pipes or some sort of pipe, whether it's inside or outside the home, water can do a lot of damage very quickly, and it's more costly to repair the longer it goes on. So you want to make sure that your pipes, the showers, the toilets, sinks, faucets, things like that, the spigots that are outside the home, you want to make sure that those are in good repair. And if they're not, you want to make sure that a qualified plumber is sent out. Again, in the negotiation process, when you're buying the home, especially if it's more of a buyer's market, which I think we're starting to get into a little bit more, you want to make sure that you negotiate who's going to pay for these repairs. Is it money off the cost of the house, or is the seller wanting to do the repairs prior to closing on the house? Things like that. Huge thing, electrical issues. So especially here in Hastings, we have a number of homes out there that are built before the turn of the century, before the turn of the 20th century. So a lot of those homes out there, even in the early 20th century, had knob and tube wiring, or they had fuse boxes where they have those little round fuses in there. You want to make sure that those are replaced or removed entirely because they're a fire hazard, and also have a breaker system, circuit breaker box installed instead. So that is another thing. Electrical, of course, it's a huge cause of house fires. So you want to make sure that those are in good shape prior to moving in, preferably. Another thing too, and in the upper Midwest, some people can live without uh, the central air conditioning, but we can't live without a furnace. So making sure your HVAC systems are in good repair as well. So whether or not you have a wall air conditioner or a central air conditioner, making sure that those are in good repair. It's a little bit hard right now with the winter to analyze the efficacy of a central air conditioner because you can't turn it on and test it, but definitely a furnace. Do you have a boiler? Do you have a gas-fired furnace? Do you have a heat pump? All these sorts of things need to be looked at prior to moving in, and I would highly recommend that you have a qualified person come in. If the inspector thinks that there's might be an issue, or if age is an issue, make sure you just put that into the purchase agreement that a qualified HVAC technician will come out, look at the furnace, look at the air conditioner. So those are huge things, and that could be thousands of dollars if your furnace goes out on a day like today here in December or January. The home inspection is incredibly important, and they will give you, if they are worth their salt, they will give you a good report at the end of the inspection process, complete with pictures, complete with an analysis of how the home is doing, the age of everything. And the inspection firm I use actually has kind of a color coding of what's red, what's orange, and what's green. Green is the best. Obviously, everything's fine. Yellow, there's caution of things may go one way or another. Red, typically it's a significant issue and needs to be repaired. So I would definitely sign up with an inspection, typically around $500 to $600 to get a qualified inspector out. He or she will come out. Takes about 3 hours. The inspection firm I work with will have the prospective buyers come out at the end of the inspection process and do a little dog and pony show at the end of it, go through the key points, and then they'll email us, both myself, the agent, and the prospective buyers, email us a specific report going over all the details within about 24 hours. In Minnesota, what you do is when you're purchasing a home, you have an inspection period out there. The inspection period typically between 7 to 10 days after the offer is accepted. Sign up with an inspector, you have the inspection done, and then you can negotiate before that 7 to 10 day period is done. Make sure that that is all figured out prior to putting the home at pending status. So if you have any questions about this or anything else, please give me a call, 651-402-6356, on the web at Tom Bullington Homes, and I hope you have a great holiday, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.